Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode 172.
On Now You Know.
Brought to you as always by our wonderful Patreon patrons. Do you know that they have access to a monthly live stream with yours truly's?
What?
It's plural, right?
And brought to you by Bior, or Build Your Own Robot. And yes, you can build a Cybertruck if your imagination allows. How cool is that? And sponsored by our friends at the solar-powered hotels in Schaumburg, Illinois, the Fairfield Inn and Suites by Marriott, and the Town Place Suite Hotel right next door. They're both connected, and they're both solar-powered.
And as Amazon associates, we earn from qualifying purchases, so you can help support the show by clicking the link below.
And of course, brought to you by ecoware.us, where you can find new designs. I'm wearing a new one. Is your house solar powered? Because mine is.
I like how the lights are on in your house, and it's got a power wall, but nobody else's lights are on because it's a power outage.
Little subliminal message.
As you can see, on neither side of the shirt, is it connected to outside power?
And this just in, you are the first to hear this. We're proud to announce that A Better Route Planner has just released the mobile app on Google Play Store and Apple App Store just in time for the holidays. Now you can get to your holiday destination even easier.
The links are in the show notes. Happy holidays from A Better Route Planner. And we're going to be heading down to Austin, Texas for Fully Charged Live on February 1st and 2nd, so you can meet us there. We have some stage time where we're going to be talking about stuff. We're also going to be out and about and around, so you can actually get 15% off your tickets if you use the code NYK2019 and you use the link below.
And I just want to do a quick plug here for our Now You Know Clips channel. It's been awesome. You guys have been signing up like crazy. We've got like 700 subscribers or something.
Right.
Can you tell everyone about that?
So a lot of people have been asking this for a very long time, and we haven't had the manpower to actually do it until very recently. And I want to thank our patrons for it. But basically, we're going to have clips, little tiny snippets of our show cut into, each little story or each little chunk will have its own YouTube video that you can watch all by itself. And that means that it's much easier to share with your friends, so that way they don't have to watch a 1 hour video just to get that one point that you wanted to nail them on. And if you yourself don't watch the entire 1 hour show, you can at least see some of the stories each week. So head over to Now You Know Clips and subscribe.
All right, we're about to do something we have never done before on the show, Jesse.
What?
171 episodes. And now this is the first time that we're going to do Tesla Superchargers at the beginning of the show. We usually do it at the end of the show. This is probably the only time we're ever going to do it.
Okay. Why?
This is a big week for Superchargers.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Check this out.
We'll begin.
So we've got the 8-stall 250 kilowatt. That's a version 3 in Fairfield, Connecticut on the southbound side.
We have the 4-stall in Salanches, France.
We've got the 4-stall in Almaty, Kazakhstan, which is right next to Kyrgyzstan.
So that's what you were talking about, because now we can get all over Kazakhstan.
No, that's not it. And also, you can't drive between those two Superchargers. There's way too much distance there.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So then there's the 14-stall in Assen, Netherlands.
There's also the 8-stall in Hudiksvall, Sweden.
And 503rd Supercharger in Europe, right? 503. It's such an important number. The 16-stall 250 kilowatt Supercharger at London Park Royal in the UK.
Yeah, it's the first version 3 in Europe, but that is still not the reason why we're doing this at the top of the show.
Okay.
There's more. The 4-stall in Seoul at Gangseo in South Korea.
The 6-stall in Daejeon, South Korea.
The 12-stall at the Eurocentral Hotel in Motherwell, Scotland.
Okay, the 12-stall 250 kilowatts in Williams, California.
The 8-stall 250 kilowatts in North Bend, Washington.
The 2-stall in Miskolc, Hungary.
And the 10-stall in Burleson, Texas. But even that is not why we did it at the top of the show. This is why we did it at the top of the show. Tesla just completed another amazing feat. They flicked the switch on Friday and made the entire Trans-Canadian route live. You can now travel from Vancouver to Halifax, 6,000 kilometers on Superchargers, and most of them are version 3s.
Wow. Well, this calls for some celebration.
Yes, it does. Woohoo!
Woo! Starting from west, moving east for the Trans-Canadian route. We're going from Vancouver all the way to Halifax. Let's do it.
Here we go. Red Deer County, Alberta, 8 stalls, version 3.
Strathmore, Alberta, 6 stalls, 250 kilowatts.
Bassano, Alberta, 8 stalls, version 3.
Medicine Hat, Alberta, 8 stalls, version 3.
Maple Creek, Saskatchewan, 6 stalls, version 3.
Swift Current, Saskatchewan, 6 stalls, version 3.
Davidson, Saskatchewan, 6 stalls, version 3.
Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, 6 stalls, version 3.
Regina, Saskatchewan, 8 stalls, version 3.
Whitewood, Saskatchewan, 6 stalls, version 3.
Prada, Manitoba, 6 stalls, version 3.
Kenora, Ontario, 6 stalls, version 3.
Dryden, Ontario, 6 stalls, version 3.
Ignatz, Ontario, 6 stalls, version 3.
Uppsala, Ontario, 6 stalls, version 3. Thunder Bay, Ontario, 6 stalls, version 3.
Nipigon, Ontario, 6 stalls, version 3.
Terrace Bay, Ontario, 6 stalls, version 3.
White River, Ontario, 6 stalls, version 3.
Wawa, Ontario, 6 stalls, version 3.
And the 92nd Supercharger in Canada is at North Bay in Ontario. It is an 8-stall, version 3.
Now, this could be one of the fastest Supercharger trips, like if you wanted to do a cannonball, because pretty much no traffic, and these are almost all version 3s.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the distance that you're going to be traveling, the supercharging rate is going to be about as good as it gets.
But we're not done. There is one last supercharger that could arguably be in one of the most important places. This is number 1755 in the world. It is the 2-stall urban in Guanabo, Puerto Rico, and it covers the entire island.
Wow.
That is 36 new locations this week, 254 stalls in 1 week.
So that's over 15,300 stalls globally.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Let's give a round of applause to Tesla. Good job. And hey, congratulations, Canada. Now you can get across your whole country without coming to crummy US, huh?
Yeah. So the other day, Nerdy Engineer tweeted at Elon. He said, "Do you have any hints as to what the full self-driving sneak preview is?"
Elon said, Tesla Holiday Software Update has full self-driving sneak preview, Stardew Valley, Lost Backgammon, and a few other things.
This is really interesting. We're going to be getting a full self-driving sneak preview.
So there's a whole bunch of different things that this could mean.
Yeah.
We have no idea what it could mean. It could mean that you get in your car and maybe for like 5 minutes, it drives you around, and then at some point it goes, quick, take over the wheel. Like, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. Or maybe it's just for early access owners.
Also, you're getting Stardew Valley. So that's a farming simulation game, which came out in 2016. So that's a whole different kind of game than we've seen before.
Yeah, and use, farming simulator, loosely.
Okay.
There are some very accurate farming simulator games out there. This is a more...
Like 8-bit.
It's a more... It's a very relaxing game. I think a lot of people will enjoy it. Like it's
like
very
good while you're waiting at the airport for someone.
It's very laid back. It's not high intensity. You're not gonna have to worry about your crops as much.
What is Lost Backgammon? All I could find was that backgammon was played a lot on the TV show Lost. Is it have something to do with that?
I don't know. Maybe they invented a new board game called Lost Backgammon.
I don't know. Comment below if you know what that is.
Maybe it's an old medieval version of backgammon that was lost and now it's found. We have no idea.
Going back to the full self-driving sneak preview, could this be a coast-to-coast drive that Elon has hinted at before? And maybe they're going to be driving along the new Trans-Canadian Highway route that they just opened up? And maybe they've already done it because it all came online in one day, so maybe they kept it quiet, but they were using it?
There's potential for that. I think that these roads haven't been frequented by Teslas as much since they've been outside of the range of supercharging, which means that it's less likely because they don't have any of the learnings on those specific roads. But I would argue that it would make a much stronger case for Tesla if they were able to pull that off. And then they'd say and most Tesla owners hadn't even driven on this road. That would be impressive.
You know what, though? I just saw this tweet that came in from Elon.
Yeah.
Tesla owner Silicon Valley asked, do we need hardware version 3 in order to get the full self-driving sneak peek? And Elon said,
yes. So that they probably wouldn't only send a video to the person who has full self-driving.
Okay, so
3.
we don't know. So I think you should comment below if you know what the answer is or what you think the answer is. And I think we should take the first correct answer and send them an EcoWare t-shirt.
Okay.
All right.
So I don't know how we're going to structure that, but
we'll figure it out.
We're going to
we'll
figure it
contact
out.
you.
Yeah. We'll at least pick one person.
Yeah, the first correct answer. So a bunch of people were tweeting ideas at Elon this week about different things they'd like to see in the cars. And someone tweeted out our friend Fred's moretesla.com site where you can go and upvote and downvote ideas about things you'd like to see. And then Elon tweeted some good ideas here.
which means that Elon Musk actually looked at moretesla.com. So for all those people who have told me, yeah, but I don't think that Elon's actually going to look at it, he just did. And so if you had gone on there, instead of telling me all these stupid reasons about how no, he's not going to look at it, he just did. So I think that for those of you who are unaware, so More Tesla is a place where you can log on, put in your great idea. Most likely someone has already thought of your great idea, but hey, maybe not. And then you get to upvote and downvote ideas so that the best ideas rise to the top.
Yep.
And then Elon just reads those and he can then implement them into the cars.
There's some good ones on there.
Let's talk about them.
Yes, I mean, one that I like a lot near the top is ability to see Sentry Mode footage on the screen or in the Tesla app.
So for everyone who told me, hey, Jesse and Zach, I think this is a good idea. Yeah, we know. And a lot of other people know, but vote that up because that's not the top one.
Right. Another one we liked a lot was bird's eye view for parking assistance,
which a lot of cars have already, and Tesla has the cameras and a very smart computer.
Exactly.
Seems like they should be able to do that.
And this one here, display view from side backward facing camera when turn signal is engaged to change lanes. That'd be awesome. You're about to change lane, you flick your turn signal on, and now you can see on the screen if there's someone over there in your blind spot.
Right. So this helps back seat drivers a lot because then they can, but honestly, it could save you sometime, you know?
It could, yeah. So last Wednesday, Tesla announced a $2,000 over-the-air update for dual motor Model 3s that would give an acceleration boost upgrade.
So what does that mean?
Well, according to Wugs on Reddit, he saw an increase in peak power from 333 kilowatts, or 447 horsepower, to 371 kilowatts, or 497 horsepower. That's a boost of 50 horsepower, and his 0 to 60 speed got better from just under 4.2 seconds to just under 3.8 seconds.
That's a half second faster 0 to 60 time.
Yeah, so basically you pay for this upgrade and you just made your car accelerate faster.
What?
Yeah, so I mean, you know how basically the Model 3 had just gotten a 5% power boost.
Yeah.
This looks like it just got, I don't know, that's like a 12% power boost.
Wow, on top of that 5%.
Yeah.
So what? So hang on a second.
We got a lot of emails this week asking, should I spend $2,000 for the boost upgrade, or should I put that $2,000 into Tesla stock? And it really depends on your case.
Depends on what you're trying to accomplish.
Right.
Are you trying to go faster, or are you trying to make money?
Right.
If you have a car, like a normal gas-burning car,
okay,
I wouldn't call them normal. I'd call them
antiquated,
pretty flawed and
clunkers?
abnormal. Yeah, a clunker. To add 50 horsepower, you're talking probably more than $2,000 worth of work.
Yeah, I don't know what you'd have to do to that. You have to put a bigger engine block.
It depends on the car, but yeah, I mean, you either need a bigger engine, or you need to do some kind of crazy boost system with
nitrous,
some some kind of turbocharger if your car didn't already have it, or you need to change some. You'd have to do all of this different stuff, and you'd have to take it to a place and then have to have it for like a week. With this, you literally press a button, you type in your credit card information, and then through the air, this is like Willy Wonka stuff. Like when they're in the thing and the Mike TV's floating through the air. Mike TV, except this is a power upgrade, is floating to your car, loads into your car, and now your car goes faster.
Yeah. Well, other thing I want to go back to is that we're getting some new games in this next update, and that's kind of like reminding me of DLCs, downloadable content that you get for your computer.
Right.
And I mean, now that there's so many of us driving Teslas, I think it's worth it for software companies to start thinking about using this as a platform.
Right, because I mean, a lot of people have smartphones, and smartphone gaming has exploded recently. And it's not because the games are that great. I would argue that a lot of the compared to games that have, powerful hardware behind them, most app games are not that exciting. It's because A, everyone has them, and B, everyone has them on them all the time. So if everyone's in their Tesla all the time and you could be playing these games, it would make sense that you'd want to have apps in the car.
I mean, I think that Tesla should seriously consider installing an SSD, a solid state drive, so that they could store a lot more content, like games.
Right.
And then maybe they should start thinking about doing some kind of subscription model or pay-as-you-use model. Or, I mean, you could even do like trial model where like for this whole week, you're going to get to try out the new games and get people kind of hooked.
And I mean, we talked about this before, right? our idea of you get this custom box that, you know, somehow fits into the Tesla somewhere, and you put all your gaming gear into it, and then there's just a little HDMI plug that hangs out of your car somewhere, or maybe you can fold it back in. But you plug that into your gaming system, and now your screen is a full-sized gaming PC if you want to, or maybe you could even buy a PS4, you know, Tesla adapter box version thing. I mean, Tesla doesn't need to do this, right? They could either make a more powerful computer, or they could just use games that work on the computer that they have. I mean, you know, Stardew Valley will definitely work. Beach Buggy Racing 2 obviously works. There's definitely some strong hardware in there to get some actual fun games.
And there's news this week from Teslarati that there's going to be an update in China to Teslas that will have multiplayer games from Tencent games.
And so that's really fun. I mean, that they just ported those in.
Yeah.
Tesla can do this with almost anything.
I know.
And they can charge money for it. Not necessarily you, but the game itself. Because if it's a game that requires microtransactions, for instance, sure, you could be playing it for free on your Tesla, just like you can play it for free on your phone. But then there's still the microtransaction component.
All right, so this week, if you've been watching the stock pages, you noticed a little company called Tesla creeped up to its all-time high. And so it's got a market cap now, Tesla does, of $73 billion. And we thought, who's a better person to talk to about this than Gally Russell over at Hyperchange? The Tesla stock price has gone up really fast, and I have no reason to, I don't know why it's doing that. And we figured, let's talk to a guy who might know why it is actually doing something. Gally, thanks for joining us for this little talk on Tesla stock. What's going on? First of all, is Tesla stock price now actually higher than it's been?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yes, this is the highest Tesla stock price has ever been in its history. We crossed 400 per share. I think the previous high was like 389 about a little over a year ago. So pretty exciting day. And one of my favorite quotes to think about this is, in the short term, the stock market is a voting machine. In the long term, it's a weighing machine. So basically, like, you know, daily stock price movements can be crazy. It's super volatile, but in the long run, the stock price will reflect the value of the underlying company. And in the past few years, I think Tesla's underlying company has made tremendous progress. Like, they had record deliveries, or on their way for record deliveries this year of about 360,000 cars. They're profitable, their revenue's up. But the biggest thing is they're profitable. They really proved the business model. And I think Wall Street's a little bit shorter term thinking than a lot of people watching the show, or me as a long-term investor. And now they're focusing like, wait, okay, Tesla validated their business model. What's happening in 2020? And I just put out a video about this on my channel. You know, Tesla's announced Gigafactory 3 Shanghai. They just built that factory. They announced a new line at Fremont for the Model Y. We're talking huge growth in deliveries, revenue, and they're already profitable. And then you add in with what they're doing with the software sales on top of that. Like, I just think everything's kind of clicked business-wise for Tesla, and now the share price is reacting to the value of the company increasing.
Now, do you think there's some psychological thing about $400 a share that gets into people's minds where they start to go like, oh, wow, we're at a new level for the stock price, I'm going to buy some?
Some people, but I tend to just not look too much into that and just not get too excited when it goes up, not get too excited when it goes down, knowing it's going to be volatile and, like, honestly somewhat random. Like, I've thought Tesla stock was undervalued for the past year or two and have been buying all year. And then now in the past month or two, it decided to pop. You know, what has really changed since then? Is Tesla that much of a different company than it was a month ago? No, they've been just one step in front of the other. It's just now the market has decided to realize that.
Now, we follow Tesla daily, right? You know everything that's going on up to the minute, so do we. And so when the stock moves, a lot of times I think we're like, oh, so was it that last little tweet? Or, but I think we're looking at it wrong, right? I think that the general market is probably a few weeks or months behind us on what they know is going on. So do you think that this new stock price increase has been caused by something that we kind of knew about a while ago?
Kind of. Well, just that Tesla is the future and they continue to execute on their business plan, I think is really what's going on here. And I think one big thing about technology companies like Tesla is, I spend a lot of my time looking at the technology they're developing, their product roadmap years into the future. And Wall Street and analysts are looking at the past financial statements. And I think, Tesla was a startup. They were growing rapidly. They were losing money. They were investing in all this crazy stuff, which now is paid off. And so it's like Wall Street had to wait to see that work on the financial statement before they believed it. While everyone else had been following the technology, knew Tesla was ahead in batteries, knew Tesla was ahead in self-driving. But I think that's kind of the disconnect that we're seeing. And now the financials are catching up to all this exciting tech Tesla's developing, and the story's kind of clicking for these Wall Street people.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Gally, for joining us on Tesla Time News. It's always such a pleasure to have you, and we look forward to talking to you next time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. So if you invested a year ago in Tesla stock, you just made yourself about 25% gain on the year.
Right. And if you bought, like I did, at the lowest point of Tesla, that was earlier this year, back in June, you'd have made a lot more.
So we've reported on this company before. This is Lilium, and they make a VTOL, which is a vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. And what's special about theirs is it's 100% electric. So check this video out. This is them doing their latest test flight on October 1st. They achieved a bunch of cool things. They did 35 knots on the test flight, and their next goal is to go 100 kilometers an hour, which is tricky because the flaps have to move to 0 degrees to get to full wing-borne flight. But during that transition, they pass through a zone where the airflow will detach from the control surfaces. Can you explain that to our viewers?
Not in the time allotted. So go pick up a book on aeronautical engineering, read it cover to cover, and I'm sure you'll understand at that point. But this is exciting because this is the second test flight we've seen from Lilium. It's great to see that they're moving forward with this concept, which could bring electric transportation with vertical takeoff and landing. That means cities to reality.
All right, if you find yourself on Interstate 85 in Georgia, you might want to stop at the Visitor Information Center at Exit 1.
Why? Do they have like free pie on Tuesdays or something?
That'd be nice, but no, they have this. Check this out. There are pics here of the new version of the Ray Solar Road by Colas. So just under 50 square meters are installed there, and they are testing 2 different versions. That's why there's 2 different colors. And yes, that's free solar-powered EV charging in the picture behind them. And so yeah, might as well charge there while you're at it, right? So an older version of the solar road tech was installed on what's called the Ray, which is a corridor of I-85 in Georgia with innovative tech named after Ray C. Anderson, who is a Georgia native and leader in green business. His daughter, Harriet, chairs the foundation. So this PV tech installed in the roadway there is called Wattway. It's a photovoltaic road surface by Colas Group, and it can take heavy-duty traffic. It can bear all types of vehicle traffic, and the panels are glued directly to the roadway to produce electricity through solar energy. Now, the solution's been rolled out to some 40 trial sites in France and around the world, but this is our site here in the United States, and they've already been able to improve the efficiency by 21%. So they can now put out 144 peak watts per square meter, which is not bad considering it's covered by like sand and stuff to keep it grippy.
True. And I mean, opponents of this will point to the fact that you're making a lot of compromises for solar, which works perfectly well on top of people's roofs and just out in fields. As long as you put it at an angle, that helps a lot.
Right.
And most highways are flat.
Right.
Most highways? All highways? I think all highways are flat.
Well, not when you're going down a hill or up a hill.
It's excellent point. But
maybe we should just install it there. Can't we move past that as a society? Like, asphalt is just gross. Like, let's find something better. This is better.
But it's so cheap, Zach.
I know, but who cares? It's gross. It's made from petroleum products.
It's cheap.
I know. That's the only argument, practically.
It's cheap, and it doesn't cost much.
But it breaks all the time and causes... On January 1st in the EU, there'll be new EV rules that are going to be going into effect, which will require the emissions output of a manufacturer's fleet of vehicles to average 95 grams of CO2 per kilometer.
Every gram over that target brings in a penalty of more than $100. The estimated industry total penalty for 2020 could be $28 billion.
So manufacturers get to count each EV sold in 2020 as 2 super credits. Now that'll go down to 1.67 super credits in 2021. It'll go down again to 1.33 super credits in 2022. And then it'll go back to just 1 old regular credit.
And that means that there is a big incentive to sell EVs in 2020 because if it counts for 2 cars and that car has a 0 grams of CO2 emissions, that means that you're super offsetting all of their other disgusting cars.
Now, the manufacturers get to form what are called pools. So one ICE manufacturer can join together with another more green manufacturer to form a pool and then submit a single CO2 score. So in February, FCA, which is Fiat Chrysler, they pooled with Tesla. Now, can you explain why they did that?
So what's in it for Fiat Chrysler is obviously Tesla has only zero-emission vehicles, and that means that they can offset a lot of their emissions using Teslas. And what Tesla gets out of this is straight up cash money.
Right, because basically Fiat Chrysler can calculate roughly what their fine is going to be. And then if they can pay less than that to Tesla, that's money saved.
Right. And Tesla wasn't going to have much of an advantage here. It would be kind of cool if all of the penalties would go to manufacturers that produce electric cars. It would kind of make sense, but they didn't do that. Right. And in fact, they allowed for this pooling effect, which means that it does still incentivize Tesla because it's pretty much the same thing, right, except that Tesla now has to pool with another company.
So all this extra cash is going to be going into Tesla's bank account for doing nothing more than what Tesla was already doing. And we don't know the exact amount that FCA is paying, but we've heard some numbers thrown around. One number we heard was $2 billion.
Right. So this is just for Tesla to keep doing what they're doing and say, oh, it's okay, he's with me. It's basically like a bodyguard. Tesla's being like a bodyguard, but for government. And the government was like, we'll allow this to happen, which is, again, bizarre. Yeah. But overall, it's a good thing because it benefits Tesla, I guess, is the takeaway. I mean, so convoluted to get to this point.
But at least the emission standards are getting tighter.
At least the emission standards are getting tighter, exactly. That is a good thing. So the first 62,500 solar panels have been installed over the car park at Pairi Daiza Animal Park in Belgium.
Well, that's enough to cover 7,000 parking spaces.
Excellent math. Over 100,000 square meters, and it will produce 20,000 megawatt hours of electricity per year, saving 6,860 tons of CO2 annually.
That's enough electricity to power the entire park, and the surplus can power visitors' EVs when they come visit.
Yeah, that's some serious power.
Now, speaking of solar energy, according to a new Pew Research Center poll of over 3,600 homeowners, they found that 46% of U.S. homeowners have given serious thought to adding solar panels at their home in the past year. That has grown by 6% from 3 years ago. Now, what are the main reasons for that?
The main reasons, most people said save money on utility bills.
Yeah, 96% said that.
87% said to help the environment.
Nice.
So clearly this isn't a cumulative percentage.
Right.
This is of the people who decided that they wanted to put solar in their house. 67% was cash in on the investment tax credit.
Right, because here in the U.S. there's a big credit for doing this.
And 60% was personal health reasons.
Wow, that's high.
It's extremely high.
Wow, so people are starting to get it that solar energy is actually clean.
Absolutely.
So if you would like to get solar on your house, but you're not quite sure what to do, we recommend going to Energy Geeks.
Now, don't worry. You don't have to pay them a dime. They earn their money from when you actually get solar installed on your house. So they're going to help you look at all of the different options in your area, all of the different solar providers. And the solar providers are going to be paying Energy Geeks since they helped you to figure out what solar you actually wanted.
They're super friendly people, and just click on our link below in the show notes and it'll bring you right to them. So our buddy Sophion tweeted out, "Hey Elon, can you please give one of us at Third Row Tesla Crew the update so we can talk about it on our podcast tomorrow?" So what's he talking about?
The podcast that we did 2 days ago.
Oh, right. Yeah. Third Row Tesla podcast. That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll put the link down in the show notes. Yeah, we get to hang out with all of our buddies on the Third Row podcast and have a lot of fun talking about all sorts of things. And yeah, go check that out. That was a whole lot of fun. But anyway, Elon got back to him and he said, needs a few more days of validation, then early access, then wide release. So does this give us any idea of the time frame of when we're going to see that?
Assuming it's a Christmas present, let's say early access comes out today.
Okay.
And then we all get it for Christmas?
That's too soon.
You think
it's
so?
got to go through the early access people for a week or two.
I know.
I think it won't be till the new year. That's my guess.
Okay.
Who knows? Now, Tesla white hat hacker Green has been busy again this week tweeting out new things that he's finding embedded in the new over-the-air software code, like that Tesla might start using their own BLE, which means Bluetooth Low Energy sensors, instead of the current Continental TPMS. What does that mean?
So TPMS is Tire Pressure Monitoring System. Basically what it is in the stem of your tire is a little pressure sensor that is wirelessly talking to your car to tell it whatever the pressure of that tire is.
So Tesla's now going to be basically making their own system because we just found out that they filed for permission from the FCC to use this new system. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this means that basically what? Why are they doing this?
I think it could be to save money. That was Green's initial thought, was that if Tesla could make their own Bluetooth low energy system, which is going to be roughly equivalent to the TPMS systems on most cars, that they could save money by making their own instead of buying it from Continental, where there's, of course, going to be a slight markup.
Also, Green found some code for stiletto 20-inch dark staggered wheels in the code. Now, these wheels that you're seeing here are the Model Y prototype wheels that were first unveiled on the Model 3 prototypes, but never made it to market. We have no idea what they're going to look like. Do you have any clues?
So the stiletto 20-inch, I'm assuming, dark staggered, it could be this, but like with every other one there. It could be something that we already have that I just don't know that they're called stilettos. Maybe they're just going to have a bunch of high heels on a wheel. It would definitely give more flat tires than receive, although you could break a heel.
Now, Green also found mention of a 100 kilowatt hour battery pack in the code that was added in March to the Model 3. So currently the biggest pack is 75 kilowatt hours.
So wait. Is there room to add 100 kilowatt hours?
I know, right? All I can think of is that they're going to come out with better, more dense energy battery technology.
Yeah, I can't wait for the Battery Investor Day.
Yeah.
That is going to be, like, I know Christmas is coming up, like, soon, but Battery Investor Day is going to be yet another Christmas, because I think we're going to be getting some really, really fun information out of Tesla about the battery technology that they must have been working on tirelessly for a long time.
Green also found this out. He found references to Ludicrous, Base Plus, and Base Plus all-wheel drive in the Model 3 code.
In the Model 3 code?
Yeah, there's no Ludicrous Model 3 that I've ever heard of.
Ooh.
So
but maybe they would.
That's cool.
So, I mean, let's just think about this for a second. I mean, they already gave the speed boost to the long-range all-wheel drive Model 3s.
Right.
But, I mean, let's just think about this for a minute. If they added a ludicrous mode performance Tesla Model 3, what would be the differentiator between that and a Model S?
Not much.
I just, because right now a performance Model 3 costs roughly equivalent to like a Model S, like base Model S.
Right.
So a lot of people are going like, if I want performance, I mean, of course I could get a, performance Model S, but I could just get a performance Model 3.
Exactly.
And now if you could get a ludicrous Model 3 with stats maybe even comparable to a like seriously souped up Model S, what do we need the Model S for?
Hold on there, buddy. Now, according to Manager Magazine in Germany, VW is having some problems with their software in the ID3.
What do you mean? They're already making the cars.
Yeah, they're making and basically stockpiling the next 20,000 of them until they can figure out how to fix the software issue. And they say it'll probably be around May of next year before they completely figure it out.
Okay, well, we shouldn't worry too much about this, because they could just do an over-the-air update and then everything will be fine.
No, these are going to have to be done manually. They're going to have to drive a mobile service van to each car and plug into it to fix this problem. And that's part of the problem. They haven't figured out how to get their over-the-air updates working. So yeah, the first 20,000 that come out are basically just going to sit there. And this goes back to our story that we talked about a few minutes ago. European companies want to sell as many cars as possible in 2020 because that's when they get the double super credits. So for half the year, they're going to have all these ID3s sitting around that aren't going to be sold.
And it seems like there's going to just be a explosion of ID3 sales when they hopefully, knock on wood, get these updates correctly done. But I mean, how long is it going to take to do 20,000 cars to go and what a boring job that's going to be.
Yeah.
Man, you think your job's boring. Imagine just driving around a parking lot in a van, plugging in to car ID3s, just upload, yes.
But this looks like a fun job. Check this out. 60 electric buses, the largest fleet of e-buses in the Netherlands from EBusco, were delivered on December 15th. Check out the stunning video of all of those buses driving along, 250 kilometers to be delivered from Groningen and Drenthe, where they will be serving the commuters for years to come.
They have a range of 350 kilometers, that's 250 miles, and will reduce CO2 annually by 5 million kilos.
That's awesome. Now, Tesla is still not able to sell cars in Connecticut in the U.S., and that's because of the auto dealer's stranglehold on politicians in the state, which means it also hasn't been able to give test drives there.
That's practically criminal, because that's how you sell a Tesla.
Exactly. Up until now, though.
Wait. What?
Yep, Tesla has found a workaround by getting a leasing license. So now you can visit the Tesla Milford, Connecticut showroom, go for a test drive if you're interested in leasing a Tesla, and then you can lease your Tesla from them.
Or you can still buy it in another state and get it.
You just say, I'm interested in leasing a Tesla.
Yeah. So here's something I thought I wouldn't see. EVgo is partnering with Tesla.
Yeah, last week they announced EVgo's new program features integrated Tesla connectors installed at all EVgo public fast charging stations in the city of San Francisco. We expect the program to expand nationally from there in 2020. EVgo's new integrated Tesla charging provides up to 90 miles of charge in about 30 minutes at one flat per minute rate with no additional fees.
So EVgo has already added the Tesla type charge connector to 5 of their chargers in San Francisco area. And if you're driving out there, please let us know what the charging rate is. Both, how much you're paying and also how fast it's charging.
Yeah.
Now, this is a good thing for Tesla owners, but this is a bad thing for all other EV owners.
Why?
Well, EVgo charging stations, the ones that I have seen, usually have 2 fast charging stations and 1 J1772 plug.
Okay.
The 2 fast chargers were always CHAdeMO and, the DC CCS fast charging standard, which meant that most Teslas couldn't park there unless you had the CHAdeMO adapter.
Right.
And most Teslas don't even bother with that stuff because they don't need it.
Right. I feel like most Tesla owners are going to stick to the Superchargers.
I know, but if you need it,
Yeah, if you need
and
it.
if it's like, oh, this works out perfectly. I work at the mall and this will charge me up or I'm going to the mall and, oh, perfect. I would have used that the other day.
Yeah.
I was at the mall. There were a couple slots open. If I could have plugged in, I would have done it.
Yeah, we'll see. EVgo currently has 750 fast charging stations. So, Tesla's not the only one who can patent things.
I did know that.
Rivian and Ford can do it too.
Yeah, I knew that again.
Here's Rivian's patent. It's the swing and drop tailgate patent. Bet you didn't think of that idea.
So you have the tailgate, normal pickup truck tailgate, and then it just kind of...
Yeah, that's useful. Oh, and here's Ford's open the frunk without opening the hood patent. Bet you didn't think of this. It's just a drawer. You fold down the grill in the front because you have to have a grill because you're a truck. And then you slide out a drawer, and that's your frunk.
Well, that's not too bad, actually, because as long as the drawer doesn't have a front, that means that now putting stuff into the frunk is a lot easier because a truck has a much higher, frunkle area than most other
Sounds like
cars.
something you'd hear at the doctor's. Well, your frontal area is not looking very good. All right, it's time for Conjecture Time.
Ooh, is this a new segment?
It could be.
Let's find out.
Conjecture Time.
You are looking at the Shanghai Gigafactory Delivery Center.
Wait, where?
So see all those Model 3s right there? We'll circle it. We think that is the parking lot where you'll come to get your car because those are all chargers there on the left side.
Okay.
So you'll come to get your Model 3. You'll park across from them in your old clunky ICE car. And then see that black building? I think that's where they'll have the car waiting for you all cleaned up with a bow on it. And that's where you'll get your car because that way they won't have to put them all on trucks. If you're anywhere in Shanghai, you could just come to the factory and pick it up. Anyway, how do we know that? We don't.
We don't, because that is what conjecture is. We're conjecturing because that building looks like somewhere you'd pick up your car. You'd definitely. I mean, they're using, I think, that right-hand section for parking Model 3s because they're coming out of the ears with Model 3s coming out of that factory. But what I think could happen would be that if you were living in China, near Shanghai, and you wanted to pick up your car, you could drive straight to the factory and pick it up there, and maybe, just maybe, you could reduce the dock fees, not the dock fees, the delivery fee.
Right.
So maybe.
And wouldn't it be cool if they could take your old car and just crush it and then recycle it?
Turn it right into a new Tesla.
Oh, and also it is interesting to note here, if you watch Jason Yang's YouTube channel where we got this photo from, that they are showing trucks and trucks loading up with Model 3s being driven off. So we think that as we speak, they're selling Model 3s from the factory.
Right. That factory's so huge, by the way.
Yeah.
Just enormous. When they do a drone shot of it, it looks like an upside down version of the first shot of Star Wars, where the big Star Destroyer is cruising over the camera. Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so this is a video of us just waiting here at the light, ready to take a left-hand turn.
What?
Oh, well, this was from a Model 3 owner who got a ticket after he took this turn. As you can see here, a cop was waiting and pulled him over and said, "You didn't have your left blinker on." I'm going to give you a $171 ticket.
But wait a minute. He did have his blinker on.
Yeah, but how do you prove that?
You'd have to have some kind of video evidence, and he did.
But wait, how does Teslacam record whether you had your blinker on or not?
Luckily, luckily he was behind a pickup truck. And that's a weird sentence to say. Luckily, he was behind a pickup truck, and the reflection of the pickup truck shows his blinker being on.
Yeah. So after 5 months of waiting and getting his day in court, he went to court, he proved himself right, and he saved himself $171 off the ticket. Now,
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Just hang on a second.
What, you have a problem with the American justice system?
So he had his blinker on.
Yep.
And he got pulled over.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, in the United States, maybe I think this is true pretty much anywhere in the world. If you're waiting in line at a light to take a left-hand turn, and that's all you can legally do from that lane, I don't usually turn on my left blinker. Like, everyone knows you're taking a left.
I think you're incriminating yourself, Zach. I see a lot of $171 tickets in your future.
What I meant was, I don't recall not turning on my blinker.
He had his blinker on.
Yeah.
Let's pretend for a moment that he wasn't driving a Tesla, and he didn't have Teslacam turned on, and he didn't have a dash cam of any kind.
He would have $171 less in his pocket right now.
There was absolutely no way. You could go to court and you could try and prove, and you could hope that the cop doesn't show up that day.
Well, here's my thing. That police officer was like a block and a half down.
Right.
Nowhere to be. There's a car on his left that was blocking his blinker. I don't think without binoculars you could see whether he had his blinker on.
Right.
And why? It's not helping public safety.
Right.
Go catch a speeder or a drunk driver or a texting driver.
Was he just sitting there just making that kind of money, and he would just stop whatever car he felt like that day?
I don't know.
A lot of us don't turn on our left blinkers. Does that mean that that's just what you're going to do?
Easy money in Indiana.
Wow.
That's how they pay for things.
But take that, some justice in the world, huh? But we need somehow a surveillance state in order to achieve justice. Okay, great.
All right, it's time for our video contributor stories. This week we've got two. We've got footage from our friend Alexander, who went and filmed the ID3 with some exclusive footage.
Yes.
Now, so that's what we're seeing here?
Yeah, so he actually got to go inside of the ID3.
Oh, wait, he's getting into the back seat?
You can see him in the back seat here. You can see his...
Oh, he looks a little
see
crunched.
The room there. He says that he's 191 centimeters tall. I assume that's really tall.
Brent and Bobby, what is 191 centimeters? Oh, that's not that tall.
It's almost 2 meters.
Yeah, but that's normal-ish.
Right, no, yeah. And, he does fit in the back seat.
Right.
It's close.
Yeah.
But, that's pretty good for a back seat for that size car.
But, it's not coming to America, so what do we care?
We don't. All right.
And also, it's got a software problem, so...
Right, we're not even going to see this car until about halfway through the year until they figure out the software problem.
And we've got a second video contributor story this week. This is the AppScooter by Etergo. This is an electric scooter from our friend who shot this, Valentin, in Germany.
Hey, this is Valentin, and at the end of August I had the opportunity to ride the Etergo AppScooter. Etergo is a startup located in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and they make a scooter called the AppScooter that is, in my opinion, probably one of the most interesting scooter concepts that I've seen. So I think with global warming being a thing, and being, in my opinion, noticeable, especially here in Germany, where the winters are getting shorter, scooters will be more and more important in Central Europe. They are already pretty big in Spain and Italy, and especially then in Asian countries, but here in Germany you see some, but not too many. So I went to see Etergo's scooter and had the opportunity to ride it, and I must say it's different from other scooters that I have driven because the center of gravity is so low, so it steers a bit different from other scooters, but I quite like it. And I think the best thing about that scooter is how big the, what can you call the trunk is. It fits 2 helmets or a box of beer, which is quite popular, of course, here in Germany. And I think that's pretty big. That's 50 liters. So that is quite a bit. It is running Android on a screen in front of you, which you can use to navigate or stuff like that, to listen to music or make a call, all while you're driving. It's a little bit limited in what you can do while you're driving, but when you're standing, you can do a lot more. The most interesting thing, I think, is where the batteries are placed. They're inside the footrest. You can have 3 batteries, with each being 80 kilometers of range. That is with 20 kilometers per hour driving constantly on a flat surface. So I guess realistically it's a bit less, maybe like 60 kilometers or 50, but still you can get up to 240 kilometers with that scooter, which is so far. And even if it's less, if it's like 180 kilometers, when will you ride that on a scooter? So I think it's one of the more interesting concepts, and I wanted to show it to you. They're still taking investments, so if you want to support them, you can do that.
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that.
Yes.
I love electric scooters.
I do too.
You know, because I grew up, we would go to Europe a lot, and we would see the Vespa type scooters, and I was just always like, oh, that looks so cool. But they're so smelly and so noisy.
And so slow and so loud.
But now these powerful, full of torque, but quiet, and just they look awesome.
Right. And no pollution.
No pollution. Oh, so if you'd like to send us your video contributor story, please, we would love them. Send them on into the show. Make sure they're 2 minutes or less. No music. Shoot them in the horizontal style, and fill them full of B-roll and cool stuff, and share your story with the world. All right, it's time for Patreon bonus stories. All right, we're back from our Patreon bonus stories. It's time for our Patreon shout-outs. Who do we got this week, Jess?
We have Sergio Folke,
Ken Burge,
Edgar Carrera,
Vladimir Alexandrov,
Conrad Gorzala,
Michael Craig,
Alessandro Magno,
Donald Mira,
Hane Volterbeek,
Louis S. Rakikot,
Vladimir Mercedes,
Jared Strong,
Neil Weaver,
and Arnie Nashbar.
Thank you so much for supporting the show. We could not do it without you.
All right, it's time for Elon's tweets of the week. Tesla owner Silicon Valley said, is there any updates on the MCU upgrade?
Are there any updates, Tesla?
Come on, guys.
Just grammar.
Elon said, the MCU, the infotainment computer upgrade, not recommended in my opinion, isn't needed for full self-driving, and cost is about $2,000 for limited entertainment improvements. Well, Elon, don't tell us what to do.
Elon, you're not driving around with a version 1 MCU.
So Eric said, the issue I have is my MCU 1 AP2.0 doesn't have YouTube or some of the games. No dash cam Sentry mode. Any updates on that? Also, any update on upgrading MCU 1 AP2 Model S to full self-driving computer? I paid for full self-driving 3 years ago and have been told by service full self-driving isn't possible on my car yet.
Elon said this is a quite thorny hardware problem, as there are many different versions of MCU and autopilot computer in supporting hardware. Cars last so much longer than phones. Hopefully able to upgrade MCU 1 and AP2 in a few months.
Well, that's good, because, I mean, Sparky's got MCU 1, and yeah, it's lasted longer than most phones, about 3 years. Mm-hmm. And it's funny how, it was so technologically advanced when it came out, and now you're like, Sparky, you're so slow.
Well, you have the YouTube app, Sparky.
Lex Acevedo said, can the Cybertruck pump the HVAC to the truck bed when the tonneau cover is closed for sleeping and camping? Is there access from the second row? Also, does it have the biodefense filter system?
Elon said yes, probably, and partially.
So let's break that down.
Yeah.
So yes to the HVAC into the truck bed. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Probably to the access from the second row to the vault. Interesting. And partially having a biodefense filter system. Why partially?
I think that they're probably going to go with the Model 3's filter system, which is the second best automotive filtration system, and I will say works pretty darn well.
Clean Technica tweeted out their article that XPeng in-house automotive vehicle technology keeps prices down. And Elon said,
in-house.
And then Cyber Pope of Muskianity said, wait, didn't XPeng steal Tesla's self-driving software?
And Elon said, that's certainly our impression, but it's an old version of Tesla software, so effect is limited. Yikes.
Philippe said, hey, Elon, would love a battery heating only feature. I don't care about comfort, but I'd like to get rid of that dreaded snowflake icon.
And Elon said, okay. Felipe, great idea.
Yes.
I had the same idea too.
But he tweeted it.
That's why I am going to go over to moretesla.com and put it in there. Yeah. And then we can vote it up, and then Elon can, but I guess tweeting works too, huh?
World of Engineering said Model S, Model 3, Model X, Model Y. Energy.
Sexy energy.
And Elon said, I try so hard with these jokes. And Viv said, how long have you been planning this? Elon said, it's been years.
Wow. So delayed gratification is one of those things that is an indicator of success of a successful person.
And this shows that he's got it in droves.
He's got that as delayed gratification.
Talk about delayed gratification. SpaceX has come up with Miss Tree and Miss Chief. Get it? But unfortunately, they didn't catch the fairing this time. But he's getting there. I mean, they have caught it from time to time.
Right.
The reason there's two boats is
There's two halves of the fairing.
right. And each half is $3 million or something.
Yeah.
So you got to catch it.
You got to catch them all.
But yeah, Elon wrote sigh because didn't catch it this time.
Yeah. You'll get them next time.
You will. All right, it's time for community meal time.
And we have
got
a lot. Thank you so much to everyone who sent in your community meal times. It's been so lovely. Let's get started.
Community meal time.
So John says, hey guys, longtime watcher, first-time Patreon supporter. Sorry it took so long. Last year, my wife and I contacted United Solar Neighbors, a national solar co-op with local chapters all over the country, and we were able to get 18 solar panels on our roof in Cleveland at a reduced rate of 30% off due to their buying power along with the 30% tax credit, nearly $20,000 in solar for $9,700. We then leased a Chevy Bolt and Tesla Model S100D and installed a ChargePoint Level 2 charging station on the back of our house. It has been an amazing journey, and I owe a lot of that change to you guys. We are now putting butts in seats, as you guys would say, monthly by getting friends to drive our EVs, and the whole neighborhood loves our solar panels. Keep up the good work, and hopefully this post makes it onto one of your episodes. Big fan. Well, thank you, John.
And the post did make it on one of the episodes
Yes.
because that's dedication. Look at that picture.
Yeah.
Look a little closer. That's right on his front yard.
Yeah.
Those are heavy cars. Thank you, John. What a lovely picture and what a lovely message. That was great.
So our friend Mendangus kept seeing ads for Audi on his Facebook feed, so he dug a little deeper and he found that this is why he was seeing them, because Audi is targeting people interested in Tesla and Model X especially. Makes sense, but keep in mind that you can do the same thing. When you're being advertised to by someone you don't want to, you can train the algorithm by telling them, hey, I'm not interested in seeing this ad.
Right. So this came to us from our friend Greg in California. It's always been a problem for me reading GPS without glasses. So I always had to keep some readers handy, switching back and forth with my sunglasses needed for driving. This issue became even more pronounced with the Model 3, where there is so much more interaction with the display, which happens to just be out of range of my reading glasses. So I was always leaning over to get good focus. Not good. What to do? I ordered some prescription driving glasses to correct my distance vision with the option of clip-on shades. I had them add a very narrow bifocal lens set to the exact distance of the display. Now I can see the road clearly and easily glance down and see information on the display without having to move my head or fumble around with multiple glasses. Just keep these glasses in the car at all times. Some of your viewers may have had the same problem, so I wanted to share this solution.
Good solution. Yeah, no, it's super
Thank you,
important.
Greg. Yeah.
It's good to hear what you came up with because a lot of times you just try and reinvent the wheel every time. You know?
Right. And there's a picture from our friend Mark in California, and he found this Tesla with the license plate of gas. Ew.
What is this, Jesse?
I don't rightly know.
That's not a Cybertruck.
No. Big thanks to Daniel for getting us this footage, but he actually wasn't the one recording. Okay. In fact, we don't know where this video footage came from.
Well, there's a license plate on the car.
There is a license plate, but I don't know what country it's for.
Please comment below if you do, because I think it might be Poland.
I'm feeling a Polish vibe. I've played enough GeoGuessr to know that this looks vaguely Eastern Middle European, possibly.
But is that like a real Tesla truck?
I don't think it is.
Okay.
It looks like someone took a car
covered
it with plywood and then spray painted it silver, and then put a light strip in the back. I don't understand. They're driving right past a police car. Why is no one doing anything?
I don't know.
Conjecture time. Maybe this is the Tesla mini truck that Elon was talking about.
Maybe.
He just contracted someone to weld it up.
And he went too far?
It's too small. That's too small, in my opinion. Okay. I have no idea. This next one, this one was very, very funny. So one of her friends got this sent to him. This was an update for his Jeep. So This is an over-the-mail update.
Wait, say that again?
It's an over-the-mail update.
What's an over-the-mail update?
Well, instead of over-the-air, it's over the mail. It's a USB stick that they sent to update his software. It updates some of the GPS stuff in his car.
Wow. That's not expensive.
Right. Hey, Bob, we're going to need about 100,000 USB sticks and some poor guy who has to load the data onto all those sticks.
All right, so this is our buddy Bill in Wisconsin. He sent us this little video.
Hey, Zach and Jesse. I just saw this morning and I thought this was an excellent sign. Normally when I come to this grocery store to do my shopping, my Model 3 is the only thing plugged in, but this morning I have a Honda hybrid and a Mitsubishi Outlander hybrid. So excellent of this store, they underwrite the charging. It doesn't cost me anything to charge here. I think we're going to see more and more of this as more and more EVs and plug-in hybrids show up.
Yeah, so Bill raised an interesting observation. He goes out of his way to shop at this grocery store because they provide free charging. It costs him about 13 cents a kilowatt hour in Wisconsin. So the store isn't paying much to bring Bill into the store, but he has become a loyal customer because of this. Now, are you listening, brick and mortar stores?
Right. If you have any kind of brick and mortar store, let me tell you, I will go out of my way to plug in my car, even if I don't need it. I want to be plugging in my car because I just want that extra little range boost.
Right. I mean, stores spend so much money on advertising and doing all these different things. Installing a charger is pretty cheap, and it's going to make a whole bunch of people, growing number, by the way,
right,
totally loyal to your store.
Right. Like I went to a mall the other day, Christmas shopping, whatever, and there was a charger right in front of Macy's. I was not buying anything at Macy's, but let me tell you, I parked in front of Macy's,
and you walked
I plugged in, and I walked through the whole thing. And if I saw anything that would have interested me, I would have bought something because I was in the buying mood because it was Christmas.
Right.
So our friend Sean used his Tesla to do a little National Geographic stuff. So here you see that he spotted I believe that's a boar, or I think he called it a Jubilina, and then he also captured 2 deer along with lots of other wildlife. Now,
wait, this isn't with his Nikon camera.
This is with his Tesla.
Wait, so he's just steering the car towards them
to get the shot,
and they're not scared.
And here he's seeing a deer jump out in front of him. The thing to keep in mind is that the camera is always rolling. So you know how most of the time when you see something, you're like, oh wow, it's gone. It's gone. Dang it! You're like, I just got the app open. With the Centricam, camera's always rolling.
All right, well, thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean. And our friend Andreas sent some more cyber things over. Cybervan.
If I was in a band again,
yeah,
that's what I'd want.
It looks pretty.
Pull up to the gig in the Cybervan.
Pretty sick, yeah.
Oh, man.
I know if someone accidentally drops a cymbal against the side of the Cybervan, you're all set. It's fine. It's just very loud. You could probably even use it as a percussion piece.
Oh, man.
Get some mallets or something.
I feel like that's a band name right there.
Cybervan. And also the Cyber Hatch.
That's
so easy to put these together. I don't know how easy. Yeah. I mean, Andreas has probably spent a lot of time making these, and I'm saying that it's easy to put together, but
cool.
All right, so it's time for On-Air Question of the Week. And you know what? We get so many on-air questions these days.
We do.
We used to get about 5, and we would pick one out of the 5, and we'd be like, we'll pick Joe's question. But now we're reading through about 40 questions a week.
Yep.
And it takes so long for us to read through all of these questions, and there's so many good questions in there, and we have to pick just one that we thought, these are some of our awesome patron supporters who are supporting us for over $4 a month. Let's give them a little something extra. So what we're going to be doing in the future is we're going to be doing an uncut video of us reading through some of the questions of the week.
And answering them.
Some of them.
Yep. So we're going to put this out on Patreon. So if you support us for $4 or more a month, you'll be able to see that. We'll be doing that starting, I think, next week. Mm-hmm. So here's a question that we got from Demeters. Can we start a petition to hold oil and gas companies accountable for knowingly polluting the planet and profiting handsomely off of it?
No, you can't. Not if you're asking this question. Now, of course, you have the right to petition your government for anything. You could petition to have gumball machines installed in every building in the country if that was something that you wanted to do. There's absolutely nothing stopping you from doing this. But if you're asking the question, there is something stopping you from doing this.
Right, because the point isn't to start a bunch of petitions. What I've learned in my life is that petitions are fine if there's a small government that really wants to know what the people want, like maybe a college campus that, you start a petition that says, we would like more beans in the cafeteria, then fine. They're going to be like, oh, didn't know that. Thank you. Right. But most governments today don't want to hear from citizens. They want you to go away because they're getting paid from their oil and gas, lobbyists. So if you want them to stop, you're going to have to do more than give them a petition. You're going to have to vote them out of office, and then you're going to have to run for office. So it's a hard thing to do. They know that, and so they're like, yeah, why don't you just do a little petition?
Right. Because the thing with a petition is that it placates people. And we tell people to sign petitions all the time, not because we think it is the absolute 100% solution, but it is a small part of the bigger solution. But you can't just be thinking that petitions are going to solve the problem, right? It is a tool. You can't build a house with just a hammer.
Oh, wow. You're holding a hammer.
Yeah. This is a tool. It can do a bunch of different things, but it can't do everything. And so it's important to remember that a petition is powerful in the right place at the right time with all the other things ready to go.
Right.
But you're not going to solve anything by just doing a petition. You do need to vote people out of office or threaten to vote them out of office, because that is the only way they're going to do things, because that's the way our democracy is set up currently.
Right.
So don't just do a petition. Get out there, find the people who are already doing this hard work, like the NRDC and other...
Yeah, Earth Justice, Sierra Club.
Exactly.
They're doing lawsuits as we speak. And join their cause.
Join their cause, help support them, and find out what else you can be doing, because petitions are great, but they're not laws.
Right. All right, we have the results of our Patreon poll this week. We asked, do you want a cybercar?
And 295 people said, heck yes. And 96 people said, nope.
I want one.
I want one.
Heck
What do
yes.
you not want a cybercar for?
I didn't say how much it costs.
Yeah, it's free.
It's
we
free.
didn't even say how much it was going to cost you. You don't want a free cybercar?
I know, right? Okay, we're at this part of the show, and you're like, where are the new Superchargers? Well, we did those at the top of the show.
Exactly. And congratulations again, Canada. And another congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
To Canada for your Trans-Canadian Supercharger Highway. Now, how exciting is that? We're gonna keep this up. This looks cool. I feel like I'm at a hockey game. Awesome.
All right, it's time for our Supercharger reviews. What do we got this week?
Hi, Zach and Jesse. David here from Owen Sound, Ontario. It's spring, it's 0 Celsius. Welcome to Canada. So I'm at the Owen Sound Supercharger. Here we have 8 chargers. There's a Walmart. There is a Home Depot. Just across the road from here is Mark's Work Warehouse. And there's a Swiss Chalet, and of course, this being Canada, there's Tim Hortons. Pretty good. Love your show, and thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Tommy.
Incident. We're at a good location here. We've got Canadian Tire, we've got Atmosphere, Sports Check, Winners, Michael's, Mark's, the Dollar Tree, PetSmart, a couple of restaurants, Lot 88 Steakhouse and bar, sorry.
We're right off the Highway 17 Trans-Canada right over there. And there's a Hampton Inn right there. Doesn't look too bad. I think we stayed there.
And I believe there's a Dairy Queen that's going to be opening.
Yeah, Dairy Queen's going to open up soon. So here you are.
Now you know. Now you know.
Hey, Zach and Jesse. I'm currently at the Supercharger in Mont-Tremblant, Quebec, Canada. And this is a night stall Supercharger. And there's currently 2 cars. One is mine. And there's grocery stores, as you can see behind me. And further behind is a restaurant. So it's 120 kilowatt. So it's quite convenient. It's right by the ski resort Mont-Tremblant, famous. I just spent a day there, so I'm recharging before I go back home. So now you know. Thank you.
Hi, Zach and Jexy. I'm in downtown Ottawa at the Redu Centre. and it's opposite the Novotel Hotel, and it's in the underground car park. Yeah, the junction of Bessera and Nicholas Street. You choose the right-hand lane through the small door, which will automatically open as you approach. You'll notice the Tesla sign is actually hidden behind the green "No Trailer is Allowed" sign. There are 8 urban chargers here, and there's a paid car park, so it costs $2 for each half hour. Charge on level P3, and despite the parking fee, the rating for this location is priceless when you need that charge.
Fantastic, eh?
All right, eh?
Sorry if you live somewhere else.
All right, it's time for our Patreon giveaway, and we're going to be giving away a Cybertruck shirt, just like the one Jesse's wearing. So if you want to get in this big basket of fun, just become a Patreon supporter, and the more you support us, the more times you get your name in there.
The winner is Murray Foster.
All right, congratulations,
Congratulations,
Murray. I think we should
Murray.
pronounce it like Canadian, eh? Hey, Murray.
Murray Foster.
Congratulations, eh?
I don't know how they pronounce Foster.
All right, you made it to the end of the show.
Congratulations.
And, just want to remind you guys that we've got our Autonomous Driving Future Series that comes out every Saturday. Episode 6 just came out, and we're getting it already came out a year and a half ago, but it still works. It's just following Elon's plan, so it's working. Since you made it to the end of the show, I wanted to tell you about my dad's book. My dad just wrote his second book. This is a memoir of his life, volume 2. And if you're like, well, I don't care about your dad. Yeah, you don't have to care about my dad. I'm in here a bunch
He's
of
in the
times.
book.
Yeah, I mean, you get to hear about how I ran away from home when I was like 6. So yeah, that's in the book. It's called Everything's Gonna Be Great. And he's a very optimistic guy.
Look at this car that he's driving.
I know.
It's like a Willys Jeep.
Yeah.
It's foot powered. See?
See?
Sustainable
it's been
energy.
in the family. Who knew? Yeah, so we're going to put the link down to Amazon if you want to go check it out.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun read. Lots of fun stories about the family, all the dumb things he did in life and learned from.
So if you wanted to know a little bit more about Zach, and by extension me, I suppose,
I think you made it
up.
into some of those stories too.
I think
he's
I
written
did.
2 volumes. Like there's a lot of stuff there. It's a lot of funny stories, really funny stuff. Yeah, they're all just short stories, really fun, easy read. And thank you for joining us, making it out to the end of the show. And we're really excited about this new on-air segment that we're going to be doing on Patreon. So again, if you're kind of new to watching us and you're like, well, what's this Patreon stuff? You head over to Patreon. You can join for as little as $1 a month. You get to watch all of our Patreon bonus stories. If you decide to, there's other amazing perks there. There's mugs and t-shirts and all sorts of stuff. And for $4 a month, you can ask questions and get them answered now on that program, which will come out once a week. And we're doing a live stream every month where for $8 and above, you get to hang out with us on Zoom, see us, we get to see you, we get to hear you, talk to you, answer questions. It's been a lot of fun. That is coming up on right after the holidays, I think December 28th. So yeah, you still have time to join us this month. So I'm excited. A lot of cool stuff happening in the new year. I think we have one more show before the new year, right?
Yes. The last show of the decade.
Oh, wow. It better be good then, huh? It's going to be hard to top this show.
I don't know what's going to happen in next week's show, for being honest.
I don't know. Maybe we can cross another country. Maybe, Kazakhstan or...
It's true. Yeah. It's funny how Kazakhstan's so big.
Yeah.
Those 2 superchargers, even with a fully kitted Model S, you can't reach.
I know. That's a country that, I don't know anything about.
There should be more news coming out of Kazakhstan for the amount of space that it takes.
Yeah, it takes a lot of space.
I mean, I know that's where they land their, the Soyuz capsule, because you can't miss. It's a big thing.
You aim for Kazakhstan, and you can't miss.
And you can't miss.
Good point.
You can't miss it. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to deorbit, aim for Kazakhstan, you can't miss it.
If you miss it, you'll hit Kyrgyzstan. Not so bad.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Now you know.